You are now watching Stargaze with Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, boy, turn up with Kuala. They wanna investigate. Put the bad boy on trial. I never did instigate. Nah, you should leave out the.
You know, we saw each other now upstairs. I saw your kicks.
Yeah.
I saw your drip. I see the bag again.
Yeah.
But now, you know, we're gonna take it. We're gonna take it a bit up. You know, I just wanna know like a bit of other stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Well, we saw the fashion, we saw the lifestyle, but like with success, right?
Yeah.
It's something that you're not so new to anymore.
Definitely.
So like my biggest question is, how are you dealing with it right now at the state of where your career is?
Like a lot of things has definitely changed. Always trying to be humble. It's definitely been like a very different journey compared to what I initially expected. So it's all about being humble, basically. That's for me personally.
Okay. And then like if I ask you with like pressure, is it the external pressure or the internal pressures that like that do the most with when it comes to this type of situations?
I think definitely the internal pressure.
The internal
Because
pressure, nah?
music especially is more of a youth thing and not something that is just like a daily job, you know. So I definitely think it's a more internal type of pressure.
Okay, and then like when I ask like this is a question that I don't even know how to put it, because then I don't want people like back at home to think that it's coming from like a bad place, nah? But
Yeah.
you know, when you get to a place, it's like, how do you deal with the situation when like you got friends that don't really support it and you feel like it's kind of like envious type thing? Like how do you deal with that situation?
That's actually a pretty deep question because I've experienced that like so much times, and I think for me it's just to go further.
But then what do you do? Like at the end of the day, do you kick them out? What do you do? with them
Definitely,
then?
I definitely cut out a lot of friends if that's the case. Yeah, keep
Yeah,
my
that's-
circle very tight. Like
So then like for everybody out there nah, that's trying to get to this situation, Unlimited Soul says that like just kick it out. Don't keep it inside. Don't feel situations that you're dealing with where your friends aren't being so supportive and you can feel that it's envious. I mean, we cut it out, nah?
definitely,
We just cut
like
it out.
just totally.
Right, and then like, you know, at the end of the day, you become like a figure of success and then people assume
Yeah.
that you have a lot of money.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then like, how do you deal with that with your family and like is there like expectations now that's like now you to pay for stuff?
Okay, like at home, definitely the responsibility. I take it more as a responsibility than an expectation because, like, I think everybody in their life has a chance to grow up and be a man in the house. And I just think with all this happening, it's also just my turn to be that man of the house.
So like
further
at the
than
end of the day, you're enjoying that responsibility without
not
an
even
issue.
that it's an enjoyment, it's more of a realization than anything else. I think everybody that looks back to when there was no responsibility, when there was no responsibility from being a youngster to now would also find it that way.
Now those are some wise words, man. Like, and that's also well put, you know, in a sense where
Yeah.
it's like we don't have to run away from it, because then you know how sometimes we look at it and we're like, ish, my family is starting to pressurize me for this
Yeah,
and whatnot.
definitely.
And then at the end of the day, it honestly is just the fact that it's the time. It gets to a point where
Yeah.
it's like you can't just now buy all these things. You actually have to look back at home and see how
Yeah.
things are at it also.
Definitely.
So I know that you produce a lot of stuff for Deb and Gogo.
Yeah.
Nah. So I want to know, like, apart from her, if you could run down a list, because then like there's a lot of people at home that don't know
No, yeah.
how big of a producer you also are, you know?
I want to start by Major League. I've worked with Major League DJs.
Major League.
Um,
You hear that? He's also produced for Major League, my boys.
can't even I did some stuff with Murumba. Did some stuff with DXC. These are just people that I've like been in studio
In
with,
studio with,
recorded
yeah.
with them, like work with them. Recorded some stuff with Dali.
Daliwanga.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to say like the whole name because then we are
Yeah.
going through like an audience that's more than just South Africa, right?
Yeah,
So now I
definitely.
need to also get that some context. So Dali is also Daliwanga. He's also produced some stuff for
Yeah.
Daliwanga.
The biggest thing I would say is the Black Panther 2 project.
Oh, you were part of that?
Yeah, I have
The
like
Black Panther movie, like guys, context. The soundtrack part of that.
Yeah.
This man right here produced for them. Nah, that's
definitely
big,
have-
man. Like even
yeah.
for me, that's a big props, man.
Thanks
That's
so
a
much,
big
bro.
movie for me. Like even
Yeah.
for the culture as a whole, like for African people,
Definitely.
it's one that we need to respect, and I want to give my personal respects for you to have been part. I didn't know that personally,
Yeah.
and like it's good to hear that.
Yeah, it definitely was like one of the highlights of my career so far. Yeah, like there's a whole list of people. I just can't get them like to the top of my head. Like, but I've been working, been around. So
No,
yeah,
man, that's dope. That's dope. I'm gonna ask you a very. This is a question that I know a lot of people want to know. I want to know, and I want to
Yeah.
ask if maybe you could be like as honest as you want. And this is not doesn't have to be about what the world thinks, about what you think.
yeah.
Who are your top 5 Amapiano producers?
Top 5. I'd probably say definitely Kabza,
Kabza,
um, Tyler.
Tyler, I see you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Can't get to like all the producers, but I don't really have a top 5. Even like I'm not the type of guy that really listens to a lot of music, especially trending music per se. So yeah,
So for you now, your top 2, if I get it out the way, is Kabza and Tyler.
yeah, like the hottest now.
No, no, for me, it's not even about the hardest. That's why I
Yeah.
said it's about like your personal aspiration because I look up to you, and then now I'm gonna also have now that ear to listen to other people. Because at the end of the day, the
Yeah.
idea of this show is to open up people to a bigger spectrum of where music is right now.
Because since you like put it like that, like in depth, I would say Dem Duda, Wavum Do, like musical genius. Who else? Tribe Soul. Like a lot of these guys that people do not know of are
Yeah, but
actually
and that's
like
exactly
the
who
best
I want us to get to because it's
producers
not
for me.
about like it's not
Yeah.
about who is trending right now because we both know that being out there and being the best are not two things that
Yeah.
are normally I think a case of it being like that.
Definitely. So yeah, like a lot of these, the reason why I chose the big guys in the beginning was because like that's what everybody thinks it is. So even me saying that would be like
Oh,
makes
yeah, yeah,
sense.
yeah, we
But
hear
if we
you.
actually get like the underground producers, the producers that people don't really know, like the world would be so much different, like with knowing what Amapiano
It's
actually
really
is.
about yeah. So we talking about that. I'm hoping in the show that we have, you're here in Mozambique for a show by a very powerful promoter, Ivan
Yeah.
Platinado, in partnership with It's Good to See You, and we hope to hear like how big of that Mapiano you're bringing to us.
Definitely bringing everything.
You're bringing the fire.
Personally, as an artist, I don't really play trending music. I always come with the fresh stuff, fresh sound. Like I'm a type of producer that would give you something that you'll only hear when I play it. I'm confident in saying that because I choose a totally different path.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
So now in our conversation, we're gonna go a bit deeper into things.
Yeah.
Like, we spoke music, we spoke sneakers. I'm talking about like current effects now. It's current affairs is how you say it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've got a situation where like there's a load shedding situation in South Africa.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Where for a specific period in time, the lights will go off
Yeah.
and you will not have electricity.
Yeah.
One, I want to know, how are you guys dealing with that, being producers, knowing that imagine this is the time when you're producing
Yeah.
and then the lights go off. Two, how do you feel about the solution that has been found locally? And then three, could there be a different way to look at it? Like as young people, because we are growing into this, right? And then like, how do we fix it?
How I deal with it, like it's a very, I'd say, annoying. It definitely messes up the workflow because I'm a type of producer that can sit like the entire day and just make music. So now it definitely differs. I can't work as much as I wanted to. It's pretty hectic. And for like the solutions, like I think the solution is load shedding for load shedding, because there's no other way to put it. Like
Because like I was even
Yeah.
thinking in going into situations like solar panels or whatever, but then I
solar
see,
panels are more on the high end side of life. Apparently, like that's what I hear. Like solar panels are expensive. This, that. Again, generators consume fuel,
expensive.
so
Yeah,
it's.
yeah, yeah.
I think load shedding affects the poor areas more than anything else.
Because the high end areas have solutions
Yeah,
that they can do for
definitely.
themselves.
That they can afford.
So then like this is also, I'm obviously touching down on this topic because I feel like it touches down on all of us. It affects the people that work with us. So it's one thing that I want us to talk about at the end of the day. And I didn't want to get too deep into it, but then I realized that it is a thing that always only is going to affect the people that are living in the lower end of life.
Definitely.
And that is not fair for us to talk,
Yeah.
to have, you know. So then I'm going to touch on something else. 2023, degree employment.
No. I don't
That-
even.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start. Like, if you can go a bit more into depth to like what side of the
So you know how back in the days it used
Yeah.
to be like a must that you get a degree,
Degree.
otherwise you wouldn't come up to anything.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that statement in 2023?
Like in 2023, I think like it's all about just having to be smart enough, because becoming wealthy and successful isn't that difficult as it was way back compared to now. Like literally, you can blow up on your phone. You can. It's life has just been simplified to a point where a lot of people are choosing jobs like music, content creation, and all that.
So like this is a conversation that we're gonna have a lot on this show because I'm a person who I got my degree. And I started went to go get a job and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then came out of it, right? So it's one of those things where I would like to showcase the people that have also made something out of themselves without, or like even if you have it, like without needing it precisely.
Yeah.
Because we live in a world or in a time that we can live without it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then another topic that I want to ask is how do you personally feel about these social media influencers that we have that are now enhancing their bodies in order to be more appealing, and then when it doesn't work in some way, now they become like victims. They actually self-victimize themselves through cyberbullying.
Like personally, if I like would be 100% honest, I don't really care about people in that sense. Like I'm not a person that pays attention to what other people are doing. Like it's just a characteristic that
That you
it's like
personally have. Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't pay attention to the world per se.
Okay.
So like I wouldn't really have an opinion on that because it's not something that I would.
And at the end of the
go
day,
in
it's one of those things where it's like if an opinion is not like validated into
Yeah.
one space, it's like it's your life and you live with it how you prefer. Yeah, makes sense. And this one goes to a situation where I have personally felt it in South Africa, nah?
Yeah.
But now I'm asking you, now being on this side of things, and then I ask you how you feel xenophobia could be an issue that could limit work within our space, for example, you know, because we in South Africa there was times when we suffered that coming from abroad. We suffered a lot of xenophobic attacks. Mozambique and Zimbabwean immigrants suffered a lot of that, right? And then now being a South African citizen in Mozambique, where now you get treated the way that you do in such a beautiful way, what message would you have for our brothers back at home that are like mistreating the foreigners that are there just for work type thing?
I actually think about this a lot, but I don't think that everybody sees the world enough. Like where our people are, most of them just end up seeing that for the rest of their lives. So I think only the experience of being treated the way they wanted to be coming this side would open
Open up the eyes to it.
yeah.
All right. So business within the music industry, right? You know, we come in young,
Yeah.
make music, have some hits, but then after a while, when the gigs start falling down, you gotta need something that sustains that, right? So how important do you think it is for like a young artist to have something that is a business that runs them, apart from just making the music and selling that?
My answer would probably be very much different to that because from my perspective, I also have considered that. But if you think big, through music money comes money for logistics. From logistics, you would move to real estate, and that's how I'm thinking now in terms of falling off from gigs and stuff like that.
So basically what my other question was gonna be, which is gonna be like our last question, which is like an open-ended question to
Yeah.
everybody, is what would be your advice for new artists within the way they should manage? Not obviously, not in the way of no, do this and do that and do that. Not
Yeah.
not even like that, but like in a very open-ended way, in the sense of obviously get your money invested and then make use of that in order to grow your brand and uplift other people in the
Yeah.
sense.
New artists, like if you honest with yourself about the music industry now, it's more about popularity than talent, I'd say, because the popular songs, the popular music come from a lot of vibes these days. Like it's gonna be difficult for an upcoming artist to be original and to, how can I say, give back. You'd say, like, I think you mentioned that it should uplift
Yeah,
the other
should uplift
people.
other people. Because
So-
at the end of the day, I think like even how we all got to where we are now, it's
Yeah.
a thing where somebody had to like stretch their hand out and be
Yeah,
like, yo, you know what,
definitely.
come through, let me give you this opportunity, and then from there we created more.
Yeah, I think also since you put it like that, in that sense, every upcoming artist who is to probably like blow up or end up somewhere should definitely just pave the way and open doors for others, plug them, like send them the correct places, play the correct music, like
Because I think that's what that it still hasn't gotten to where it should be, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's what makes our generation a lot more forward
Yeah.
than the previous ones, because I think we are having more of that connection. You know,
Definitely.
because you see different camps, like even you guys, when you guys arrive today, like different
Yeah.
camps of music that are
Definitely.
helping each other out just for the sake of let's move.
I think that's what the Amapiano culture is. It's about helping each other.
Now that's very well said. I wanna say thank you so much, Unlimited Soul.
Thanks so much for having
It's
me.
a pleasure to have you.
You are now watching Stargaze with Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, boy, turn up with Kuala. They wanna investigate. Put the bad boy on trial. I never did instigate. Nah, you should leave out the.
Thank you everybody for watching. My name is Dennis Rodman. This is Unlimited Soul, my bro. Thank you so much. We shot this one in Mozambique. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And you're watching Stargaze with Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, boy, turn up with Kuala.